Well done.
Okay. Are we all here? Let's see.
No, we're missing Jessica and Jeanette.
Okay, let me stop my video. Well, I'm glad you gave me a heads up because I hadn't thought about how the hell I was to get the link to you, but it wasn't that hard. So thank you, Martha.
Oh, you're welcome. My concern is, I don't know if this is considered an open meeting. Because you go to the website and you hit virtual meeting and it's a blank screen.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to worry about that because this is
Right.
how it was set up.
Right. I mean, they didn't, somebody, yeah, so. No, I
So I
agree.
think it might have been a screw up on Grace's part. It could be something I didn't, I mean, I just started the way I ordinarily would, but I also had to send you the link.
Right.
I wonder if I
Yeah,
just sent the link to well,
I know. I mean, I went on the calendar. Hey, Jessica.
Hi.
Yay. And yeah, there was a building committee at the same time. Oh, good. Gang's all here. Yippee.
yeah,
All right.
so I'm sorry if it's not an official open meeting, but and there might have been somebody who wanted to come.
Sally, I just talked to Sally. She can't make it tonight.
Oh, okay, because I could send her the link. Or one
Right.
of you could send her.
She can't make it.
Okay.
Yeah. All righty. Well, greetings, everybody. Nice to see everybody. All right, let's get started. Meeting called to order at 5:32. Shall we take roll call?
we're supposed to.
Yes.
All right. Barbara here.
Gray here.
Makepeace here.
Millinger here.
Stockton here.
That's not accounted for. All right. All right, approve the minutes from September. Any discussion?
I don't know that I have them.
Well, I sent
They
them.
were sent out.
I didn't send them out again. They were sent out before the October meeting. So they're there. I mean, I can send them out to you again, but do you want to wait till the next meeting to approve them?
I've looked at them. I mean, we can do that if we can.
I'm sorry that I didn't think to send them out again, but they had been sent out before the October meeting.
Right.
And it's fine with me if you want to table them until the December meeting.
Okay. We need to vote on that.
No, I don't think we do the table.
All right. Okay, all right. Finance. Jessica, you have the,
Oh, sorry.
that's all right. You
All
have
right.
for this month.
I do have the report. Hold on, I gotta grab it. So this month I started fresh because we ended up getting the grant, or the first installment of the grant. The grant was $4,282.50. And we don't have a budget set up yet. So that's left blank on the financial report. I put in the total expenses for July, August, and September for the foot clinic, which came to $1,002. And that leaves us a new balance of $3,280. our donation account balance right now is 324 tentatively. Martha and I, there's two amounts which I have to clarify with the accountant that we talked about today. Before we roll that back into the foot care bill for next month. And then our town appropriated budget is still $200. We have not used that.
Okay, so just to clarify,
I'm
so,
going to take off my video because I have low bandwidth. So I'm still here.
okay. So this is Millinger. I just want to clarify something, Jessica. So
Yes,
you're anticipating that the donation balance will be subtracted from our
well, yeah,
expenses, but
so
we're not ready to
because
do that yet.
the donations, we're taking them instead of the checks and the cash going to the nurses because there was such confusion with that. And then we had to ask for updated bills and it just got to be too much. We're depositing it into the town account. And then we're using that to pay the foot care bill for the following month. Martha had gotten reports done and there's a $95 and a $40 deposit, which we're not sure where it came from. So I have to get a hold of Ryan and see exactly where that money came from.
And
Thank you.
The 200 is that's a town appropriation and that can be used for, we could use that for the pamphlet that was printed or, office supplies. So, and then we have that revolving account. Okay, thank you, Jessica.
Hang
You're
on a
welcome.
sec. Oops, sorry. Before we actually leave this completely, we owe the birthday party money. Should we be subtracting that at this point? We were going to give them $100.
Yeah, I have a list of the things that we need to subtract as of now that we have the money. So there's $100 for the birthday party. And Susie, I asked her not to submit the bill to us until we got the money. Now we have the money. I will tell Susie to submit a bill to us.
And Martha, I can, so the pamphlet you're talking about is the one that Dina designed for us? So
Yeah,
we
I
could
have
ask-
that.
Okay, so she knows to submit it as well, or do you want me to run that by her? I'm in contact with her.
I got the $75 bill and I was gonna I'll send that to Jess so she can do a warrant for that.
Okay, when I got it printed at Staples, it wasn't very much. I think it was $17 or something like that. Is that more trouble than it's worth?
Do you have receipts?
Yes, I have a receipt.
Yeah, you can submit that. You need to if you give that to Jess, then she can do a warrant for that and put attach the bill
Okay.
from Staples for that.
So I can just I can do that electronically to you, just send that to you in an email.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
email to
great.
me and I'll get it
Perfect.
over to the accountant.
Okay, it's so minimal, it just seemed like but
And yeah, that can come out of like the town appropriations if you want.
okay. Okay.
Okay, all right, so
The grant that we just got for $4,282.50, is that like the money from the state that we get twice a year?
yes, yes.
And one other question. So we now have a pretty solid amount of money coming, the foot care costs a specific amount every month, right?
It varies.
It does vary.
It varies on how many clients they see and how much is actually donated.
Okay, so if nobody donated anything and it was a full house, how much would it be?
We would be screwed.
Well, we would be.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Well,
Let me grab
we're hitting there, I think. we're heading there, and that's why I'm asking that question.
We
So
are.
if
Hold on a second, I'll tell you exactly how
you.
much it would cost.
I'm also asking this because the COAs and village neighbors met sort of to have just a with the topic of foot clinics, how the four COAs are handling it. Leverett, New Salem, Shutesbury, and Wendell. I represented us with the little bit I knew. I just didn't know how much it cost every time. But I know that foot care for nurses, I think every patient it's $55.
Well, yeah, so it's $25 for the foot care for each person. And then they're here for about 4 or more hours, and we get charged $60 an hour.
Oh,
So that's why, so when you break up the 240 for the 4 hours, we roll that into each person to make them up to $55 per person. Does that make sense?
yes.
And,
Um,
and
so
then
how many clients can be seen?
8.
every half hour, so 8, right?
Okay. All right, thank you.
Wait, and then some of those clients are being seen at home. 2 of
Yes,
them
and then
last month.
those are $100.
Those are 100.
Yes, which a lot of times the person does pay the full amount, but sometimes they don't. We can't guarantee that they do or don't.
The last one wanted to be invoiced, so I guess we could send them a
Who's
note.
that?
But one of the 2 people that had there was a note on that on the most recent bill that the person,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
it was $100 and they wanted to be invoiced, so I'd say I don't know where you find their email, but we have their phone number, so I guess if they're willing to be invoiced, I
Well,
can
are
let me
we
know who they
invoicing them,
were.
or is Foot Care by Nurses invoicing them? I
Uh,
don't.
Care by nurses, they don't bill, so we would have to do it, so.
Oh,
If you send me the name, Jess, of that person, it's on that bill
yeah,
for. I mean, yeah, if you send that to me, I'll talk to Susan Gomberg and get the phone number and, you know. Give the phone number to you if you're willing to just give them a buzz and say, hey, we were told by Foot Care by Nurses, you're willing to, you're awaiting the invoice, and we don't invoice people, but donations are accepted, so,
right.
yeah, so.
All
So
right,
that
I
was,
mean,
yeah,
I'll email that to you now,
okay,
so I don't forget.
so for the past 3 months, it was $1,000,
Yes,
so,
for the past 3 months, it was $1,000.
okay. So, other, monies, okay, so we talked about the birthday party, the pamphlet is $75, the COA belongs to, the organization, the Mass COA, and that's $300, and, I'll look and see what sort of invoice they gave, and, I'll send that to you, Jess. I sent them a note in September, and I said, they wanted it in September, and I just said, we're not getting the funds then, so
Right.
they just had to wait, so, and then the other, and then the other thing, we got a note from the library, and they're asking, they said in the past, we have donated, $3,000, last year, and, so they're asking if, I'm writing today to ask the COA to support the fitness programs at the same level as last year.
And I think it happened in two payments, and I'm gonna need to recuse myself from probably any discussion on this, or at least if there's any kind of motion made, because
Right.
I teach for that program.
Yeah. So.
Um, If we're gonna, I don't know whether we're at this stage of the budget making, but yeah. Jeanette is right. We have not paid that as one payment. We've paid it as several payments. And we don't commit in advance to the second half, because we're not really sure what's gonna happen with our finances. So I would suggest we might want to consider doing that again. So offering Marianne maybe 1,500 for the fall and winter.
That's probably a good idea because I'm not very good at math, but even I can see that if we continue to support the foot clinic as the way we are, there's 3 months times 4, that's $4,000 right there. If we're giving 3,000 to the library, that leaves about $1,200 total in our budget for anything else we want to do.
Okay,
It was
is
very-
we get a half of our grant or the whole shebang?
Half of it.
half. But still, it adds up to about $7,000. Those two. It was very interesting. If I could just interject, having this meeting with the 4 COAs and just being privy to what they put money into. And if I could talk about it for a minute, New Salem pays a huge amount of their budget to support their lunches I think it's every 2 weeks. Whereas we have potluck, so we don't have that huge expenditure, but they put a lot of money to that. And Leverett does the foot clinic, but they make really clear. I think we had voted against this notion at one point, but they put up, please know that the cost for you being serviced today as a foot client cost us $35 to $55. So please be as generous as you can. Whereas I've not been to our foot clinic, but I don't think we do that. I think we just put out a basket. So they probably don't spend as much on the foot clinic. I can't remember what else they put money into, perhaps lunches as well. And then I can't remember what Wendell does.
They don't have a foot, they don't have a foot clinic.
I think we may have discussed it at a meeting.
they
where you
do.
weren't present, Jeanette, but Susan Gomberg is planning to talk to people to make clear they all know how much it costs us, that it's 55 per person,
We
Which-
still,
Yeah.
right.
which wasn't clear earlier, apparently.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea because it would be nice to be getting some support. If people were going to the podiatrist or something, they'd have a copay that's almost as much, I would imagine. Okay, I'm done.
I mean, people give $5, they're getting this service and they donate $5.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's
It's,
one thing if they can't afford it, that's one thing, but yeah, that's. What was there? Wasn't there one that was $2 last
yeah,
month?
somebody walked
And-
out, the last time somebody walked out and gave nothing, and it's like, so.
Yeah, I mean, people, I'm sure Susan Gomberg will do this. People need to understand that we can't afford to cover the whole pay.
Right.
I mean, we're happy to do that if somebody can't afford it, but,
Right.
and that's tricky to communicate sometimes.
Yeah. So, all right, so. Do you want to make a motion in terms of what we should think about contributing to the library?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we contribute $1,500 for the first half of the year expenses. I don't know how Marianne divides it up.
Someone has to second that, but it can't
Oh,
be me.
I'll
Right.
second it.
All right, let's take a vote. Favre, aye.
Gray, aye.
Makepeace, aye.
Millinger, I,
Stockton abstain.
All right, so we'll donate 1,500 to the library. All right. And we'll pay the membership to Mass COA. All right, I'll send those invoices, Jess,
Okay.
and the pamphlet.
Millinger here. We also have been making a contribution to Village Neighbors.
Correct.
I'm not quite sure when they ask for that money. And again, I don't know if I should be talking, although almost everyone here now is a village neighbor, so then maybe we can't even talk about it at all. But I think that's probably some of the most important money we spend, and I can give you data and numbers of services if you would like them to show you the worth of that expenditure.
I think, I think this is a really a good cause, but I think we need to think about our whole budget for the year, our expenses for the year, because we're probably going to put out at least one newsletter. And we need to think about what's upcoming before we commit to how much we can give village neighbors. That would be my suggestion, that we need to look at the whole ball of wax.
But we haven't created a budget. We did in the past, but we don't have one for this year. So, I mean, we're slowly building it, so shall we set aside 800 for the newsletter? That's what it cost last time.
So that is, our plan would be 800 to one newsletter.
Yes. I believe that's what it cost last year. We can look at old warrants.
I think that's what the sample financial report you gave me said. Yeah, 800 for the newsletter. Hmm.
4,000 for the foot clinic, 800 for the newsletter. Mass COA, you've got 300 for that. 1,500 for the library. And yeah, so 4,000. What's that get us? That's 6,600.
And if Mary Ann comes back second season, which has been her pattern, that brings us to $7,500. More or less.
Right.
That's the budget.
That's
That's
the
what we
budget.
have, right? Total 85, is it? Approximately.
Frank Mangan and Martha Sommer. Please leave us a message.
What was it that we got? We got 4,280, did you say, Jess?
Mhm.
4,282, excuse me, 82.50.
So. Well,
Which we only have 3,000 something left. Because 1,000 of it went to our debt with the town for the past 3 foot clinics.
okay. Well, I guess that doesn't have to, Village Neighbors doesn't have to be determined now, but yeah, it's a tight budget.
What does Council on Aging usually donate to
We gave
Village
them
Neighbors?
last year.
What'd you say?
We gave them 1,000 last year.
Okay.
And we
And-
are the second largest town. So
Hmm.
Wendell has maybe 800 people in that, and they're giving them $1,000. So if anything, we should probably be giving them a little more.
We
I
started
just,
giving them 500.
I'm sorry?
We started out, I believe, giving them 500. I'm just worried about our finances this year. You know, I think we need to think about just how much we can afford to pay on the foot clinic.
I think that's the biggest issue, because when you think about it, you're serving 96 clients, of which most of those are repeat. It seems like an awful lot of money to be spending on people's toes, however important the toes are.
Janice here, Invisible Janice, if you can hear me. I'm looking at the last minutes I have, which says that their budget for FY 2025. And I'm seeing the dues to Massachusetts COA is 265, and I thought somebody said 300.
Yeah, okay, I rounded it up.
Oh, okay,
In that ballpark.
all right, good.
You should
I
write- I
wanted
think
to make
maybe
sure.
this year it is 300. 300 stuck in my brain when I notified him in early September, we couldn't pay him yet.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean. All right. I guess more to come on the budget. Any other discussions on the budget?
I don't think so.
Okay. Next topic on the agenda is free digital resources. So, Department of Public Health of Western Mass, I got this message. There's an Alliance for Digital Equity, and the Beyonce is the person in charge, not to be confused with the singer. And she is reaching out to small towns in Franklin County to support bringing free digital resources, devices, digital skill training that can be delivered to your COA. So she would like to talk to somebody about the resources that are available and how the Alliance is supporting closing the digital divide across the 4 counties. So, is anybody willing to contact this person to see what they may have? I have all the information, the contact information, and there's another step within this email is, there's a request form, that, through the Alliance. So that's another, piece that can be completed, but, I didn't know if anybody would be interested in taking this on.
Well, I'm probably the worst person to take it on. This is gray here. But I'm willing to give it a try and explain that I don't know much.
Know much in terms of,
Of digital equity and devices, digital skills, training, etc., that can be delivered to your COA. I don't know what they mean by delivering to our COA.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they're talking about giving courses like the ones we gave that were so well received.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not clear. But I'm willing to talk to this person and say it's not clear.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's a good idea.
all right, so I will send this. I forwarded this to everybody, I think
Yeah.
last week.
I have it.
Janice, you do, okay,
Yeah, November 7th, you sent it.
yes, yeah. Okay. Great, thank you. Maybe that would, yeah, that would be helpful. I mean, there's certainly a big disparity in terms of what people need. All right, great. Okay. Ta-da! We now free demand response. Yippee! This is an application for free rides from FRTA. Okay. So trips can be scheduled by calling the call center. And first, one needs to complete an application. And the application then needs to be mailed in. You can't fax it. You can't email it. I don't know what century these people are living in. Anyhow, I called them yesterday and I said, so this needs to be received in the mail, and she said yes. So determination of eligibility needs to be made by the FRT within 1 week of the receipt of the completed application. So I'm thinking that I'm happy to write a so this form's interesting. So you complete it, and if it says, are you a LifePath client? Are you a 60 years old? Please attach proof of age. And then are you a vet? And are you living in a nursing home? And what sort of wheelchair, cane, walker, etc. So I think the best thing to get this information out is to post town announce. That was my thought. What do you all think? Does that make sense?
Right here, it makes sense to me, because we won't have a Gazette for a while. Or an Our Town newsletter, so.
All right. So I will post that, and people can go to the link and print this application. And I will also, I'll give this packet to Sarah, the nurse. And yeah, that would also be helpful, maybe at the next luncheon, have copies of that available.
It's a good idea to give it to Sarah.
Stockton here, I just wanted to mention one thing.
Yes.
Village Neighbors is about to do our 4-town mailing, and within that 4-town, the letter, there is our newsletter, which has I'm gonna call it an article that gives details about transportation that is available to each of the 4 towns, because they all have slightly different things going on. So that will be going out to every household in Shutesbury, in addition to being on the website. So that might be helpful.
So it goes out to just the village, just the members.
No. This one piece of mail goes out to every person that lives in Leverett, New Salem, Shutesbury, and Wendell. And it will be going to every household in Shutesbury, that if people open it up and look at that newsletter, they will be getting all of the information on the various ways one can access transportation, as you know, besides Village Neighbors.
Does it have this information about
I
demand
cannot
response?
believe that it wouldn't. I can't believe that it wouldn't, but I do not have it memorized. Because it's right from like FRTA and PVTA and all of the various people that have been working on this. So that's just an addition.
It would be wonderful if they could include the application.
Yeah, I don't think that can happen.
I mean, if you have a link, you can print it. You
Yeah.
know, hopefully
Yeah,
people
we're talking about a constituency that isn't necessarily.
digitally equitable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we can
Maybe we should also post signs, places like the post office and the library and town hall.
Actually, the best thing would be just to hang up a couple of the things you have to fill out.
Yeah.
That's always the biggest block to doing anything, is getting your printer to print it out.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good idea, Jeanette.
Yeah.
Anybody, you want to take that on, Susan? Anybody want to take that on? I have the forms here.
If it's not a huge hurry, I could do it in like 2 weeks. And since we haven't had it in a decade or so, or hyperbole, but essentially that long, I think it can wait 2 weeks. Unless someone else wants to take it on.
Thank you, Jeanette, for offering.
Okay, I'll get this to, I'll get some of these copies to Sarah. Too, okay. All right, great, thank you. All right. So foot care clinic, these are committees that just need some, they need some coverage. So Foot Care Clinic, Susan Gomberg is willing to continue to host it till June. I received a key to the front door from the police today, the chief, because sometimes there's an issue with possibly the building not being open. Generally, it isn't. So, she will not keep a key. I don't know why, you know? So
You talking about Susan won't keep the key?
Susan Gomberg doesn't want to be responsible for a key to the town. So that puts the onus on Council on Aging Committee for somebody to have a key to open up the town hall if some reason the administrator doesn't show up, you know, to open it up for 8:45 on the third Wednesday of the month.
Okay, I don't mind. I would be willing to have the key, except I'm not going to be around on the third Wednesday this month. But ordinarily, I would be around and I would be happy to have the key.
Okay,
I go by 8:30 every day.
Oh. Would you be willing to take the key, Jessica?
I can do that because I drop my little one off at school at 8:15
That'd be
and
great.
then I either come home or I go to work, but I can swing up there. It's no big deal.
okay, all right, so I need to, so we can coordinate because you have to sign a form for the
Okay.
police. You know, you have it, okay, all right, we'll coordinate that, okay, great. So, and then, we have a system now whereby the monies are deposited directly to the treasurer, with a form. Susan Gomberg does that, okay. Lunch, someone needs to be willing to set up, volunteer to be set up for the lunches because, Sally was doing it with Beth, but she can no longer, she has another commitment. And, so, setting up the lunches, Sally can help clean up, but,
Martha, Stockton here. Does it have to be one of our group here, or can we get another volunteer from perhaps someone that is regularly attending? I mean, Sally's not. This seems like a
But
difficult
exactly,
question to
Sally-
answer right now.
right, just, yeah, if somebody's, you know, somebody somehow is willing to, you know, set the lunches up. I mean, it doesn't involve much, it probably takes 20 minutes, it's just pulling the stuff out and putting tablecloths on and,
Yeah, you know, I'm not opposed to doing that. It's just that I have been sick since the 10th, 11th of October, and I am not better over it yet. So I'm not in a mood to take anything on, but will be December and hope to God I'm healthy by December. So I would be willing to do this.
I'd be willing to help if I'm still around.
Yes.
oh,
And I don't know if there's a key ever required for that.
Well,
mm,
there was something about a key the other day. This is Ray here, sorry. For a cupboard that had a key and then it was removed, and I don't know what happened there.
But it would
Sally
not-
was putting stuff
wouldn't-
away in the kitchen. There was a group of people in the kitchen. And I wasn't able to follow what was happening because it was so crowded in there.
Well, that's not a matter of getting into town hall, though. If it's just a matter of getting into a cupboard, that's something we could figure out.
Well, it seemed like the nurse was there at the same time we were. Is
That's
that the
true.
norm?
That's
No.
true. But
That's
she's
not the
usually
norm.
here on Wednesdays and we're doing the lunch on Tuesdays, correct?
Yeah,
right.
Okay, but she was there yesterday.
Yeah.
She was giving.
Just to check in, this Zoom said that it was from 5:30 to 6:30. So if we're gonna be cut off at 6:30, we just need to be mindful. That's what the Zoom said. We need to be mindful that it's 6:10.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know if, yeah, that's a good question. I
okay,
don't know. Well, this is Mary Ann's.
Martha, Sally was talking, Stockton here, sorry. Sally was talking with me yesterday about doing a cleanup of that kitchen. and going through some things. Did she talk to you about that? She had hoped to come tonight to talk about that.
Oh.
I had volunteered to help her with that endeavor.
Mhm.
But it seemed like there might be stuff that, even though it hasn't been used for a long, long time, was purchased by the COA. So we shouldn't be clearing and organizing. We should just leave it as it were. I don't know. Do we need to, can we talk about that?
I'd like to mention something that I overheard, gray here, which is that Sarah Fisk was interested in purchasing some plates that were in that cupboard. And someone said, well, we can't make that decision because, we're not meeting and they belong to the town. I don't know what plates they were, but someone said, we'll mention it. So I just mentioned it. Being sort of, and everyone's frozen, so I don't know if anyone can hear me.
Yeah, we can
No,
hear
we
you.
can.
We're not frozen, yeah.
Looks like,
Jessica, I'm hoping that you could help us with
Huh.
this. You have the best history. I think that everything in that kitchen may have been purchased by the COA.
Yes. Long time ago. Whether it was purchased or donated or however they came across, but they used to have the weekly dinners where they would actually use regular plates and silverware and cups, and they would do dishes and stuff like that. So yeah, that would be all the COA stuff.
But would we be behind, is Stockton here, at least giving that kitchen a good cleaning and maybe seeing what's in there and doing an inventory and possibly get rid of some of the, I guess there's just tons of styrofoam.
Okay, Jeanette, I'm happy to do this with Sally. If I'm taking over responsibility for organizing,
Okay,
I'm happy to deal with Sally and doing an
Okay.
inventory and cleaning up.
okay.
Jessica, do you want to have any role to play in this? Because, you're the inheritor of the original purchasers.
I don't mind helping if you guys need help. I definitely don't mind helping. I don't know what's there, so I know that it's full. There's lots of stuff there.
Yeah, so basically, as long as we respect it, you're okay with
It would be what everybody, I have no emotional attachment to it.
Okay, good.
If that's what you mean. Yes.
So shall we, after we do the inventorying assessment, shall we talk about whether we want to sell any of the china to Sarah at a later date?
Barbara, that makes the most sense. I mean, see what there is there. It was unclear in terms of, did she want all of that pink? I don't know. It was unclear to me.
I agree. It was unclear.
All right. All right. Any, we're down to, any unanticipated business.
Okay, so just to clarify, how long are you going to be with us, Martha?
I sent the select board a letter that I'm with the COA till the 1st of December. I mean, there's a lot of ends that are loose. I mean, I have a lot on I have to buy a thumb drive and just download a lot of the information that I've acquired, like the mailing lists for the COA. All that stuff was sent by Ken Adams, the cleanup of that. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm happy to work with the, next person who chooses to take over the role of chair. Because there's a lot of behind the scenes that I wasn't aware of when I took over.
Well, if you're only going to be with us till the 1st of December, you won't be around for the December meeting.
No, the other thing too, I need to file there's a financial report that needs to go into the state. I was reading on that. The letter that we got from the Adam Frank from, in regards to the grant that we got today, there needs to be a fall report. I need to find out about that, so. Yeah, so I set up the meeting in December, so that's on the books. There's, that's scheduled in my town government.
What do you think initially, folks? Because I don't hear anybody running to volunteer to take over. What if we took turns chairing? And we're going to have to get from Martha the information about all that needs to be done. But Jess is involved with a big piece of it, the financial piece.
Ray here. I keep getting knocked off and I'm not being able to really follow this conversation because lots of it is frozen on my end.
Stockton here. I think that what is happening, Janice, is that Martha is stepping down from chairmanship, and we're kind of looking at how we can navigate that.
I know that, but I can't
vacancy.
hear half of the conversation.
Okay.
It will freeze.
Well, when you say split it up, Stockton here, when you say split it up, Susan, are you talking about one person taking care of it for 3 months and the next person for 3 months? Or would it might be a better thing to do to just look at what are the 5 or 6 big chunks to this job? And maybe a lot of them are already kind of chunked already.
I think that's a good suggestion, Jeanette.
Um,
For example, I would be happy to chair meetings.
okay, I was gonna say that. I'm not taking on anything else beyond that. I'll be perfectly frank. You want me to chair a meeting? I'm happy to do that, but I absolutely can't touch anything else. I'm on 3 committees for Village Neighbors. I'm flat out with just that.
Yeah, I understand. And and there are the complications of you running 2 organizations, one of which is a state organization and one of which is not.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a lot. That would be a lot for you to deal with. Well, I'm just, we have Susan Gomberg dealing with the foot clinic from now until June. Right? We'll do lunches with Sally. And we know when the newsletter comes, we're hoping Janice will have some say in it. Jess is doing the financial business part. Jess, are you in a situation where you're basically comfortable doing all the finances?
Yeah, I don't mind taking on all of that.
Okay, so
The behind the
And I don't mind
scenes,
taking on a little bit more, but I work 2 jobs and I have kids. So a lot of my time is taken up.
understood.
The newsletter is Stockton here. The newsletter is now going to happen once a year. Is that correct? Did I understand that right?
Are you talking about the Gazette or?
Gazette,
town
correct.
newsletter? I don't know if we made a decision. We didn't have the budget for more than one. Because if it's $800 and we don't have the money, it's sort of out there in limbo.
It seems like that's the answer, that if we only have money for one, we only have one. Or pursue again the idea of this town. Other towns have an email mailing list that we should be able to utilize.
How have they,
No?
you know, the big question, how did they get that email mailing list?
I can
That's-
ask one person who I know had gotten it right from her town. She went to one of the people that worked there and said, I need an email
Right.
mailing list for people, and they gave it to her.
Someone in the town did?
Someone in the town did.
I was in Leverett, I think. They were
No,
saying-
no, it wasn't.
Okay,
Might have been in Leverett as well.
I thought at that meeting Leverett said that they were able to acquire it. So,
Well, it was also New Salem, so then more than
Oh.
one has it.
that's a huge detriment for us, you know, being able to communicate with people.
Yes. You know, let's face it, we don't really have a good relationship with the senior community of Shutesbury.
We don't have we don't have a good relationship, or would it be more correct to say we don't have an opportunity for good communication? And
Well, we
good
don't have a
connection?
really, I mean, we don't get a lot of seniors. The most seniors we get are what, however many we get, what, 16 to 20 at the foot clinic. You know, the lunches, if we didn't have the people from town hall, lunch is not bad, but we're getting 10 to 12, maybe a variety of 15 to 20 of different people. We just, we don't have a big base. And I'm wondering about other town COAs, whether they have a bigger base. And you're right, Jeanette, if we could communicate with people easily, I think, do we know whether people appreciate our website and appreciate our newsletter? What would happen if we just sort of quit work?
Probably no one would even, there wouldn't even be a blip on the screen, unfortunately.
Hey, the programs were well received. You know, we've had a dozen at all the programs that have been, the 3 programs we've done this year. There were a dozen on Sarah Fisk's program the other day,
Mm-hmm.
Bladder Health, and then, you know, we got the phone programs that were run last year. In the spring and the fall, those things, there were 10 or 12 for each of those. So I don't know. I don't know what gets people out. I mean,
You know,
Yeah.
well, we do support worthwhile classes.
Yeah, definitely.
The library runs them, but we're providing the money for them. So, you know, yeah, I mean, I do think we do valuable things. It's just, there is this problem as we ask people for email and they do not give them to us.
Mm.
So. Okay, so do we have, follow, if we follow Jeanette's suggestion about taking different big pieces, Martha, is there a big piece that we have left?
there's so there's the website, you know, the website needs to be followed. I've gotten information off the website that, you know, there's a lot that is just, it's not applicable to our situation, but the website needs to be followed. The someone needs to have access to my town government to be able to post meetings and agendas.
Okay, well, I have that access, even though I've never done anything with it, but I
Okay.
have.
Okay,
We're going to be chairing the meetings. That would make sense. You take that on.
And I'm not sure what you mean about the website needs to be followed. I was updating it today.
not the COA website.
Oh,
the-
the
My town government. That needs, it needs to be posted, it needs to be posted a couple weeks ahead, the initial one, and then if the agenda changes, so that, Grace from Town Hall can go in and provide us Zoom links. You can do a number of those at once. So, that, I mean, there's emails, people make requests, those things get answered. I've dealt with those. The big thing is really, I mean, the finance, I think we have it, that piece ironed out. And Jessica there's a workable system now, with that. Program planning, that can go by, I mean, that's another thing, in terms of, sending out town announces, organizing it. The AV didn't work, so I was talking to Susie, and I'll send a note to select board, just requesting that they create a list of IT people that are easily accessible and some written instructions as to how to access with a computer, that TV screen in the room next to
Oh, right.
your lounge.
In terms of Stockton here, in terms of getting people out, New Salem has just asked us to post their lunches in our village neighbor correspondence. Would we be interested in doing that?
Yes, I would
That
think,
could
so.
help a little bit.
Yes, thanks, Jeanette.
Had put in, Martha, I believe we had put in information about the various programs you have run through the year in those as well.
Oh, and Village Neighbors?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that goes out to a good number of people and people actually open it.
yeah, we've only had people from in town.
Mhm.
And there's also this woman who, this elder respect program, she sent me information, and she is from, hang on a second, she is from Wendell, and, anyhow, it's this program whereby, basically it's, uh, um, uh, she does these programs in Wendell where you just sort of honor older people in town for what they've done. So, that was her idea. She sent me this flyer in terms of what they do. So,
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that. They do that every so often.
I think in terms of program planning, we've sort of gone up and down on program planning. Sometimes we've had ideas and been more active than other times. And it's something that we can develop as a committee, I think. So I guess I think we can probably do for a while without anybody officially responsible for program planning. So I hear you answering email. Is that coming in to COA?
yeah, the COA. I mean, I've gotten various letters, like people wanting to know why we don't have a lawyer who's available to town, and I've contacted, for elders, and I've contacted LifePath and gotten a list of, elder legal people that I've then sent on to these people in town, and, sort of, I mean, caseworker calling the COA and needing help for a patient who, LifePath was able to help, and Jessica was able to help with that.
Okay, so
Issues in regards to foot care, people wanting, to be seen. It's like, I'm sorry, you don't live in town.
Mhm.
okay, so we should all be getting all that mail, just because it's coming into COA, right?
Uh,
Well, if we're not signed in to get it, we wouldn't be getting it, I don't think. I mean,
Well,
Martha,
So,
you must have had to do something to be allowed access.
so in
We all
terms of
have-
Jessica, you get the, Jessica, do you get, you're signed on to the COA web
Yeah.
to
To get
the
the,
website, right?
yeah,
Okay,
to get
so
the
you,
invoices.
so, okay, so in terms of doing that, you just needed to go in and create a name and a,
You sent me a link,
right.
I
I think I
believe.
sent it, I sent it to everybody when we talked about this a while back. I
Yeah,
remember,
and then I was able to log in to the email.
okay. Okay,
Stockton here, with Martha not being at the next meeting or henceforth, do we have a quorum still?
Well, we won't have Martha as a member, so we will have a membership of 5, right?
For,
for you, Janice, Jeanette, and Jessica.
4.
Okay, 4, sorry. Not too hot on the arithmetic here. Okay, so a quorum would be 3. I would think. So I think if 3 of us come, we would have a quorum.
Okay.
So Jeanette, have
Is
we,
that- Yes,
this- Millinger here. So are you officially going to take over as chair for at least 3 months or,
who?
okay, you volunteered, I volunteered, I wasn't sure. Just to chair
was
meeting.
just-
to
Yeah,
chair
I had
meeting.
said I would be happy to, I love chairing meetings, I do it a lot. And that was one offering I thought I could make.
I think that would be great if you could do that and I could
Um,
set them up.
Okay.
And I guess the question is, should there be somebody officially paying attention to the emails and answering emails?
Well, is Jessica getting them now? I'm still unclear.
I have access to them, yeah.
So does that seem like an onerous
Yeah,
act?
I can keep an eye on that.
Okay,
As long as I can get in touch with Martha to make sure I know like where the most important emails come from. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know, you know, for the state and whatever, I would have to know,
Those are,
you know.
I end up looking at them. I mean, I'll go back and see, that, in terms of logging in, so you all can, see them. I mean, you get stuff from AARP and it's,
Right.
I don't really, I don't give that a whole lot of, there's a whole bunch of stuff in terms of the whole business of servicing a large office for a
Right.
COA, which are, it's
Mhm.
not.
Just-
applicable in the
Right.
least.
It's not relevant.
And Susan, I will be away a bit. But again, we could just try it for a couple months and kind of play it by ear, but maybe we could be in contact and make sure one of us is available.
That sounds good.
Is there much else on the agenda, Martha?
No, no.
Then you know what, I think we should all clap for you for having taken this upon yourself at a difficult time in your life, and for having persevered. But I can certainly understand with, kind of everything. But want to say, I certainly am thankful that you stepped up and took this on, and then realized how much there actually was to it. So it's good. I think the idea of chunking it a bit and being really clear about who's in charge of what, as much as possible with this little teeny tiny workforce. I mean, Susan, in a way, you're right. Like, what the heck? I can tell you how many people, as of April 2023, there's like a lot of people in this town, and 60% of us, Shutesbury, there's 2018, so there's probably more now. 1,700 people in this town. And theoretically, if we're following demographics, we're over half are over 60. And, where are all those people?
Well,
You,
as
Martha.
people have we do get people out to things, so I guess the question is asking some of these people if they'd like to join us, like some people that came to lunch.
Yeah, that was my suggestion, is to have, make the announcement that we're looking for other members.
Think we should definitely do that. We should definitely use lunches to do that. And follow up with individuals that we think would be good additions. So do we feel that we've got, okay, I guess we all feel we've got enough to go with for now. Is that what people are saying? And I think we ought to I personally second what Jeanette said. I think, Martha, you've done a great job. You really have. I really appreciate all you have done. You've gone above and beyond. And we're
I
going to
mean,
miss you because you've done
clinics,
much.
food clinics have begun again, lunches have begun again, new programs have happened. Yeah, absolutely. Hip hip hooray.
Hip hip hooray. We created a treasurer, yay. Hip
Yeah.
hip hooray. Yes.
Good things.
All right. All right, so, yeah, I'll take care of all these invoices and send out that link in terms of how you can all access, emails.
Mhm.
Thank-
Good, well, I've enjoyed working with you all. Thank you.
Sorry, are we ready for me to shut the meeting down?
Do we have to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
We do. We need to move,
Okay.
actually. And we need to set up a date for the next meeting. I think it would be the second Wednesday, yes, in December, which would be Wednesday, the 11th.
Yep.
Martha, you want to officially shut us down?
Yes, all right, so I second it that, it's 6:37, so, Favre, I. Close
Great.
the meeting.
Sorry.
Make peace, aye.
Millinger, aye.
Stockton, aye.
All right.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
You
Well,
too. Been a pleasure, thank you.
Bye-bye.